We look up at Jupiter and see a giant, a gas world so massive it could swallow Earth more than 1,000 times. But the real mystery doesn't lie in Jupiter itself. It orbits just next to it, a tiny moon covered in ice, shining like a pale pearl in the darkness, Europa. For decades, scientists have whispered the same question. Not what is it made of, not how big is it, but something far bolder, like could this frozen world be alive? At first glance, Europa looks dead. A frozen wasteland, scarred with cracks that stretch for thousands of miles. Just endless ice under Jupiter's cold glare. But the cracks aren't random. They tell a story. The moon is restless. Its surface shifts and grinds like Earth's tectonic plates, only stranger. The ice below shifts and heals again. That constant motion, it hints at something hidden below, a world we can't see but know is there. Europa's shell may be miles thick, some estimate up to 15 miles. Others argue it could be thinner in places, fragile enough that plumes of water sometimes break through into space. But exactly when the Hubble Space Telescope spotted faint sprays of vapor shooting from Europa's surface, the whispers grew louder. Those fleeting plumes hinted at something bigger, pointing us toward what is hidden beneath the ice. So beneath the ice there is water, not those small lakes, an entire ocean. And not just any ocean, it's vast, deeper than any on Earth, maybe twice the volume of all Earth's oceans combined. It's a sea so enormous, so alien, that Earth's blue expanse feels almost small by comparison. But water alone isn't enough. A frozen block won't give you life. What matters is liquid, movement, chemistry, and what keeps Europa's ocean liquid isn't sunlight, it's Jupiter. The giant planet's gravity is relentless. As Europa orbits, it's stretched and squeezed like a rubber ball. That constant flexing generates heat inside, enough to melt the ice at the bottom and keep the ocean alive. And the result is extraordinary, a hidden sea that never freezes, locked away under miles of ice. In the pitch black, far from the sun, Europa's ocean stays liquid because Jupiter refuses to let it rest. It's as if the planet itself is keeping time, pumping warmth into a moon it will never let go of. And that strange tug of war, it might be the key to everything. This is where things get strange. On Earth, nearly every living thing depends on sunlight. Plants capture it, animals eat the plants, life climbs the ladder, all built on light. It feels so fundamental, so unshakable, that it's hard to imagine a world where light doesn't matter. But deep in our oceans, we found something shocking. Entire ecosystems thriving without a single ray of sun, around hydrothermal vents in complete darkness. Life feeds on chemicals pouring from the sea floor, giant tube worms with blood-red plumes, ghostly fish navigating black waters, bacteria that eat sulfur instead of sunlight. It's life flipped upside down, biology written by geology. And suddenly, the rules we thought were universal, they start to bend. If Earth can do it, why not Europa? Its ocean floor may host vents just like ours, chimneys of heat and minerals bubbling up, mixing with water rich in potential. A recipe: heat, liquid water, and chemistry. On Earth, those three were all it took. If those same ingredients exist beneath Europa's ice, then maybe, in the darkness of a moon's hidden sea, life has already found a way. The question of life beyond Earth, it's as old as human wonder itself. From ancient myths to modern science, we've always asked, are we alone? But when Europa enters the conversation, something changes. Unlike Mars, whose ancient rivers have long since dried up, or Venus, which transformed into a runaway furnace, Europa feels alive with possibility. Its ocean isn't a relic of the past, it's here, right now, sloshing beneath the ice. That immediacy, it's what sets it apart. Decades ago, Carl Sagan captured this difference. He called Europa the single most promising place to search for extraterrestrial life in the solar system. At the time, it sounded almost audacious. But as our telescopes sharpened and spacecraft brought back data, Sagan's word gained weight. Each discovery like that, salt on the surface, evidence of hydrothermal activity, plumes shooting into space, tightened the case. Scientists, they're not just speculating anymore, they're chasing a trail of clues, and every clue seems to whisper the same possibility, that Europa may not just be another moon, it may be another cradle of life. But what is strange is that we don't have proof just yet. No fish swimming under the ice, no alien microbes waving at our telescopes, but the hints do keep stacking up, one after another, and together they form a picture that's hard to ignore. Magnetic field measurements suggest something salty and conductive beneath the crust, exactly what you'd expect from a global ocean. Patterns etched into the ice hint at movement from below, as if warmer water is pushing and reshaping the frozen surface. And then there are the plumes. Hubble has caught glimpses of what looks like water vapor erupting into space, jets rising hundreds of kilometers above Europa. If those plumes are real, they could be carrying chemical fingerprints of the ocean with them. That means answers could already be drifting into space, free for the taking. If we could fly through one of those geysers and analyze the spray, we might learn the ocean's secrets without ever drilling a hole. NASA's Galileo spacecraft, it gave us our first close look back in the 1990s. It wasn't designed to search for life, but even so, it changed everything. It confirmed the icy shell was active, cracked and young. It gave us magnetic hints of a vast ocean, and it shifted the question forever. We stopped asking, does Europa have an ocean? Instead, we began asking something far bolder. What could be living inside it? And now, the next step is clear, to go there and find out. For decades, we've dreamed of sending a probe to Europa, something that could slip through the ice and taste the ocean itself. That dream is still out of reach, but we're getting closer. But as of late 2024, that dream is closer than ever. NASA's Europa Clipper is now on its way to Jupiter. It launched aboard a SpaceX Falcon Heavy, and it's on a 5.5-year journey across the solar system, aiming to reach Europa in 2030. Along the way, it's already swung past Mars in early 2025, using the planet's gravity to slingshot itself deeper into space. Its science instruments are awake and working, with the first tests already returning healthy data. Next comes a likely gravity assist from Earth in 2026, and then the long cruise out to Jupiter. When it arrives, Clipper will perform nearly 50 darting flybys of Europa, swooping just a few dozen kilometers above the ice. Each pass will probe the moon's frozen shell, measure its hidden ocean, and search for traces of plumes rising into space. At last, after years of wondering, we will finally begin to learn whether Europa could be a home for life. So, if Europa harbors life, the most conservative prediction points to microbes. Tough, resilient microorganisms, invisible to the naked eye, clinging to the icy crust or drifting in the ocean below. And yet, even that would be revolutionary. Finding microbes on Europa would shatter the notion that Earth is unique. It would mean that life doesn't just happen here, it happens everywhere the conditions allow. But science has a way of widening its horizons. Some researchers even consider the possibility of complex life stirring in Europa's hidden ocean, creatures gliding through the black water, feeding on chemical nutrients rising from hydrothermal vents. Translucent predators, they could have adopted to the darkness, using bioluminescent flashes as silent signals. Entire ecosystems, self-sustaining, ancient, and alien, might have endured beneath the ice for billions of years. It may sound unreal, but so once did the idea of life beyond Earth's hydrothermal vents. No sunlight, crushing pressure, toxic chemicals. Scientists believed it impossible. And then they discovered teeming colonies of bizarre creatures, tube worms, clams, shrimp, all drawing energy not from the sun, but from the Earth itself. That revelation changed our understanding of where life can exist. So, when scientists speculate about Europa, it isn't fantasy, it's informed wonder. If it happened here, in the darkest depths of our oceans, why not there, beneath the endless ice of Jupiter's moon? So, why don't we know yet? Why, after decades of study, do we still ask the same question? Because Europa guards its secrets well. Landing is nearly impossible with current technology. The surface is brutally cold, radiation from Jupiter is intense, and the ice shell is miles thick. Even if we did land, drilling down through that much ice would be one of the hardest engineering feats in history. And yet, the temptation doesn't fade, because if there is life under Europa's ice, the discovery would rewrite everything about our place in the cosmos. Let's just assume that at last the signal comes through. A probe confirms chemical signatures, cell-like structures, evidence of life beneath Europa's ice. The news cascades around the globe, shaking every foundation: religion, philosophy, science. In a single moment, Earth is no longer singular. Life does not need our sun, our air, or our soil. It can take root in places once dismissed as impossible. And with that realization comes the greater question: if Europa is alive, how many other moons, planets, and different systems are as well? The galaxy stops looking empty, it begins to look crowded. That's why Europa won't leave us alone. Cold, distant, hidden, but holding a secret too big to ignore. We don't know yet if it's alive, not just yet, but every discovery drags us closer to the answer. And in our lifetime, the truth might finally break open. When we stare at Jupiter's icy moon, we're not just looking at ice, we're staring at possibility, at proof that life might be everywhere. If you want to follow that search, hit subscribe, drop a like, and stay with us. Europa's story isn't finished, and neither is ours.